This week on Cartoon Dumpster Dive, we cover the cartoon Dino-Riders. Unga bunga, Joel.
I'm guessing that stands for hello. So hello, Andrew.
Me very excited about covering cartoon today.
Yeah.
Cartoon Dumpster Dive, us podcast covering Dino-Riders. Me thinks that we'll have a very good time.
Yeah, let me ask you, Andrew, did you watch Dino-Riders this week on your supercomputer known as the Oogie Matak?
Yeah. Why you think me talk like this?
If for any listeners that just got that reference, kudos to you.
Me Oog, been here for 6 million years.
Me. Ooh.
Okay, I'm not going to talk like that the whole show, which wouldn't make sense anyway, because the main characters from the show are from the future.
Yeah, this show is crazy.
What a curveball to sell what is essentially just dinosaurs' toys with a bunch of extra bullshit on them.
Yeah.
And we'll get into the sales distribution of that later. But before that, let's review that theme song.
Let's hit it.
After years of peaceful existence on the distant planet Valoria, Questar and his people were forced into battle. The power of their step crystal ripped a hole in the fabric of time, sending them backward to prehistoric Earth. Unaware that at the same moment the evil Emperor Krulos was plotting to capture the step crystal with his own grotesque Rulon forces. And so, the battle continues in a new place and time with Dino-Riders.
All right.
Yeah. There you go. Short, sweet, and to the point.
Okay. I guess maybe this is because we've been listening to we've had a string of bad theme songs here recently.
Yeah,
not last
true.
week. Last week was pretty good. But I kind of appreciate this. How it's just short and sweet. It just gives you the backstory very quickly. And also they walked in the word grotesque.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, when was the last time you heard a theme song or a intro to a cartoon talk about their grotesque?
Yeah, that's true.
So
I don't know. This one's pretty average for me. I'd probably give it maybe a 4.
See,
I'd say it's below average. 4 or 3.
I was gonna give it a 6.
Okay.
Yeah, because to me it's like you said, it's average. I think it's probably one of the better. Just hey, this is our narrative intro. Just giving you the backstory. I think it's
right. Yeah.
It's on the better side of those.
It's a worse version of the Cadillacs and Dinosaurs theme song.
Yeah. But then,
is it because they're both dinosaurs? That's up for you to decide.
It is.
But Joel, how did this cartoon get made?
Oh,
I have
boy.
an idea that it was a tried and true. We got to move units, and rather than making a commercial, Ronald Reagan gave us access to make a show.
Andrew, you are 100% correct. This is a Reagan episode through and through. Really, the sole purpose of this was to just sell toys, push product and merchandise, which I'll go ahead and tell you, I don't think it really succeeded in that.
No.
The cartoon only ran for 14 episodes, one season long. Originally aired on October 1st, 1988, and ended on December 31st, 1988 as well. it was a part of the Marvel Action Universe programming block.
That's right. This is a Marvel Productions.
Yep. Yeah, it ran alongside the RoboCop cartoon and Spider-Man and like his Amazing Friends. Those cartoons.
Okay. God, what a lineup.
God, what a terrible lineup.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we said, this was ultimately to sell the toy line by Tyco Toy Company. And dude, what a crazy toy line. What a crazy toy line that has a lot of withstanding or a lot of a very impactful toy line that actually even to this day still has things that is like inspiring or kind of related to, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The latest toy line was in 2020.
Yep. Yeah. And you know, I want to talk a little bit more about the toys because really the history of the cartoon, like I said, there's nothing
about
to
the
it.
product, not
It's
the
just about
show.
the product, and there is so much around these toys that I figured let's talk about it, you know, after we've talked about the cartoon and we can, you know, really kind of expand on that.
Okay.
So go ahead, hit me with some of the voice actors, Andrew.
Okay, so the voice cast for Dino-Riders is Steven Dorff is Lad, Wally Burr is Tag, Dan Gilvezan is Questar, Frank Welker is Krulos, Glide and Rasp, Peter Cullen is Antor, Bomba, Gunner, and Mind Z, and finally, Charlie Adler is Hammerhead, Locust, and Turret.
Okay. So
A lot of well-known folks. A lot of 80s voice actors who are still very much in the game today.
it sounds like Peter Cullen and Frank Welker are really, you know, carrying a lot of the main characters on their back.
I'm almost certain that Peter Cullen, because this is the first time he's not a robot in anything we've covered. I'm pretty sure. Secondly, he's always in a versus show. Outside of Winnie the Pooh, I can't think of anything he's been in where it's not this group versus this group.
Like the good and bad group are fighting against.
Yeah, but they're the same thing.
You mean classic 80s?
Yeah,
classic 80s cartoon that was just to sell toys, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because they always had that, you know, good group.
Oh yeah,
bad
you always
group.
got to have the good group and the bad group.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. No, I got what you mean. Yeah.
But so for their other works, we have Steven Dorff is Deacon Frost in Blade.
Interesting.
Wally Burr was additional crew in Transformers the movie.
Okay.
He was additional crew in a lot. The 1986 the movie.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Dan Gilvezan was Bumblebee in Transformers the movie.
Ooh.
Frank Welker, he's Curious George in the 2022 Curious George show.
Okay.
I had to pick something other than Fred, and that is a task unto itself.
Yep.
Peter Cullen is Counselor Number 1 in Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
We should just
another one that's not just Eeyore or Optimus Prime.
we should just change. Peter Cullen just needs to change his name to Peter Optimus Prime Cullen.
Yeah, basically. Charlie Adler was Buster Bunny in Tiny Toons. And
Okay.
finally, Cam Clark was Kaneda in the English version of Akira.
Ah, Cool.
So there's a few things I do appreciate about this show, and it's because, like, I guess, are aliens considered cryptids? I want to say yes, and for this, they're gonna be.
Okay.
So, you have the Valerians, and Valerians are actually a real type of, like, alien that people, like, conspiracy theorists think Valerians are the reason that we as the human race are as intelligent as we are. So I
Okay.
thought that was neat that, like, and how they're described is they're tall, they're blonde, and they're white. They're basically like the conspiracy theories that I've heard that don't go back to just blaming the Jews for everything. Our Valerians are basically the closest thing you can get to a Valerian is a Swedish person. That's what they looked like. So that was one thing that I enjoyed.
Okay, so you're just saying that the Valerians in this show were just humans that they all look like Swedes.
Yeah, they all look like Swedes, but they're also like they weren't like made up for this show. They have been a long sought after kind of contact with aliens type thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
see, that's why. And so that makes even more sense that they go back in time and they interact with like Neanderthals and stuff. So it's like that's further like, see, it's just if you're a conspiracy theorist, I feel like you would appreciate this show because they actually have like Valerians. Anyway, they live on a peaceful planet and they get attacked by the Rulons, very cleverly named fascist type aliens. I would say that they're kind of like the lizard people, but a lot of them are different. There are some that are sharks and there are some that are bugs. They're just a whole hodgepodge of like, that's a villain looking thing. Let's put them in this show.
So let me get this straight. It's basically saying the very realistic humans are the good guys, and then basically if you don't look like a human, you're a bad guy.
If you're different, you're bad.
Love it. That's classic 80s.
I don't know if they were going that far, but yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So
I got you.
they all both go back in time, and so the Valerians they need help, so they kind of like trust they like mind meld with the dinosaurs. They're like, we're not here to harm you, and the Rulons they just brainwash them.
The Rulons just enslave them. I think
the
that's
Rulons enslave them.
Isn't that what they say?
Like, just to prove how villainous they are, they're just like, okay, we also need them to have dinosaurs, but we can't have them like psychically have them. Otherwise, there'd be some sort of gray area. Oh, I know. We'll put devices on their head and then force them into enslavement.
I was about to say, didn't they basically say that in the theme song that they enslaved the dinosaurs?
So that's your big difference.
Okay, so already evil.
You have
already
the
evil right off the bat,
and then you also have the Neanderthals.
Okay,
and that's pretty much the show. It's a basic 80s good versus evil show of like, you every week they need something, and every week they have a fight with it. Like for the first couple of episodes, it was control over a Tyrannosaurus Rex, because the Valerians couldn't like get the T-Rex to trust it, but the Rulons could definitely enslave it. So that was like a whole big arc. I don't want to say arc for this show. That seems too gracious for a show like this.
Yeah.
Now, so there's not really that much in the show. It was to sell toys, but the history of the toys is actually more fascinating than anything this show has. Because of how successful they are without the armor on them.
The toys are kind of amazing. Like, if you actually start digging into the history of the toys, it's just fascinating.
It's kind of like what's that one show where the guy finds the superhero suit? And it's, believe it or not, I'm walking on air.
America's Greatest
Nobody can
Hero.
remember that show.
America's Greatest Hero.
Yeah, but like the theme song is like, nobody could remember like whatever happens in that fucking show, but everybody knows that theme song. Everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And this is kind of like the toy version of that. Like, yeah, Dino-Riders I'm sure was fine, but these toys have like stood the test of time and have like they adapted with everything.
Yep.
I think the one thing that tripped me out the most is people preferred to not have the laser and robotic attachments. And these toys were actually praised by archaeologists at the time for how accurate that they were.
Want to know why that is, Andrew?
Why?
Because they did their due diligence with these toys. They actually
went back in time.
No, they actually, when they was designing the toys, they actually got a paleontologist by the name of Robert T. Baker to consult on the creation of the toys.
That's got to be a kind of a fun day for a paleontologist.
And they even got, they not only got a paleontologist to consult on the toys, but they also had a dinosaur illustrator by the name of William Stout to help design it as well.
Wow. So they really went. So no wonder these dinosaurs looked as well as they did.
I'll give you one additional little, you call it a trivia night piece of information, but the toys, the original mold cast for these toys, like you mentioned, they were so incredibly well done with like the actual anatomy of a dinosaur. They basically sold the molds to the Smithsonian, so the Smithsonian could create dinosaur like action figure, dinosaur toys to sell. So if you love these toys and you want the like closest thing to the original toys you can get, you can go and buy, if you buy the dinosaur action figures or the dinosaur toys from the Smithsonian, is basically the same mold they used.
Oh, okay. That's pretty neat.
Right?
I know that there are interesting references to just the one that I found particularly fascinating is Rex, the dinosaur toy from the Toy Story series. He's based on the Dino-Riders Tyrannosaurus toy in the first film. When the toys all meet Buzz Lightyear and are talking about where they came from, Rex says, "I'm from Mattel." Well, I'm actually not from Mattel. I'm actually from a smaller company that was purchased in a leveraged buyout. And this is a reference to Mattel buying out Tyco, which is who originally had the Dino-Riders toy line.
Correct. Yep. I thought, I always remember that line from Toy Story, mainly because my wife watches Toy Story like every week.
Yeah.
But I never knew the meaning behind that until now, and I thought that was the funniest thing.
We find out some of the most ridiculously useless but interesting things.
Yeah.
When we like, I've just our entire show can just be like comprised on like the information when you hear it, you go, huh, I never thought about that. That's pretty interesting. So, you said a number 5 with cheese? Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, there was actually another piece. Like, these toys were so realistic that like B movies were actually using these toys in like their graphics, like their special effects.
Damn.
Yeah, there was
any one worth mentioning?
no, the only one I could find was there was a French movie called Dinosaurs from the Deep, and they actually used the T-Rex toy for their like special animation.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
A France film.
Oh, oui, oui.
A Crescentosaurus Rex. He's attacking our city.
That's me and Andrew's French impersonation. It's just saying French baguette.
Crepes. Notre Dame. I've been over to France, so I'm pretty close. By the way.
Right on with it. But Andrew, the toys, is there more that you want to expand on for the toys?
No, that's really all I really had about the toys of for me, they've had a series since 1988. It went all the way to 2020. They had a comic book adaptation because it was the 80s, so you can't not have a comic book adaptation. Yeah, the most interesting thing, much like Silverhawks, this does have a cult following. And in October of 2015, Mattel had teamed up with Solipist Films to develop a live-action Dino-Riders movie. So if you're a diehard fan, don't give your hopes up. As of 2018, there was no update of the film going forward.
Yeah, I doubt it's being made.
I feel like it would have done well. I'm surprised Mattel or Hasbro, for that matter, hasn't tried to do their version of the shitty MCU. And because the MCU used to be good and now it's whatever. But every film production company, everybody tries to like get that extended connected universe money.
Yeah.
Surprised that we haven't tried to find a Dino-Riders averse. I bet you it's coming.
I doubt. I doubt
It's
we'll
probably
see
not Dino-Riders, but it's probably something with Mattel.
Oh, honestly.
Oh shit! They're making Barbie.
So are you saying that there's just going to be basically a universe where all these live action toy movies,
right,
are set in?
Yes,
and then
like the Mattel, there's going to be the Mattel-averse,
and then in 10 years we'll get their own version of like Endgame, where all the movies are going to kind of come together, and somehow they will make sense out of it all.
Yeah.
That is not
honestly. You would have to be an extremely talented writer, but if you could pull something like that off, I believe you deserve like 6 Oscars at one time. No categories. They just hand them to you blank.
You know what would be really amazing if Mattel and Hasbro walked hand in hand and did like Mattel's universe versus Hasbro's universe.
Oh shit! And beat DC and Marvel to the punch. That'd be insane.
That would be insane.
Insanely bad, but still.
So here's a thought. I feel like if they we are getting way sidetracked.
We're
but-
about to go to your new reoccurring segment.
But
anyway,
I just wanted to drop a thought. If they were to recreate this movie, or even these, future movies based off of like really old toys, because let's face it, they could say it's based off of the cartoon, but it's based off of the toy.
Yeah.
Would it not be awesome if they kind of did it in the style of like those like toy soldier movies or the Indian and the Cobub? I can't say that word.
Cupboard?
Yeah, that word. If they did it in the style of that, like from the kid's point of view, but the toys come alive.
Oh, like try to do it like a Lego movie situation?
Yeah, kind of. I think
can see that happening.
I think
can see that being pretty good.
I think that would be awesome, because then you could throw all the toys in that same universe, but have them come alive, and almost like, I guess, a live action Toy Story in a sense.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think that would be cool, because I enjoyed those movies as a kid.
Yeah. Well, get out your writing pad and start writing up that screenplay. Make us some damn money.
Yeah, I doubt anybody would be pawing at the opportunity to buy that script from me.
Maybe so. But Joel, I believe it's time to move on to your new reoccurring segment. Reviews that Dino ride at dawn and reviews that Dino ride off into the sunset.
All right. So, Andrew, I could not find a low review for this cartoon this week.
Is this 7.1 out of 10?
Yeah.
1.3K.
Yeah, it's I mean, people like it. It's a good one, but this is a 10 out of 10, and the title of this review made me chuckle.
Okay.
The title is called "The Best Toy Commercial Ever."
He's right.
Yeah.
Just agree with him right there.
Okay, so it goes, yes, Dino-Riders was, in the end, basically a half-hour toy commercial dedicated to selling overpriced plastic dinosaurs to young children. As a cartoon, it was inseparable from its toy line. That said, it did the selling very well. As a 6-year-old child obsessed with dinosaurs, this series was a dream come true. It combined science fiction action with dinosaurs, everything a boy wants. When you're that young, you don't recognize commercialism, no matter how crass. Looking back, the show is obviously silly. One of the smaller plot holes is the fact that the alien Valorians look just like humans. Still, it's a fun piece of nostalgia.
To me, I'll do the bad review this week. To me, the show isn't exactly good or bad. It's so basic.
It's probably just so slap you in the face with its just pushing the merchandise that they really didn't.
Honestly, not really. I mean, they show you the dinosaurs in the armor, and you could they look exactly like their toys. I will say that. I mean, they look, it's about like the Centurions. They're one for sure. But I mean, the plot's like, I don't know. It's a very by the numbers. And I mean, yeah, it's a commercial. It's a commercial that plays commercial breaks, but it's just a very basic show. Like nothing about it is so bad that it's funny, and then nothing about it is good enough that really like makes it something more like maybe a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Transformers would. It's just a very just like paint by numbers kind of show. Which with shows like this, that's sometimes what happens. People will be like, okay, we're not writing Shakespeare here. We're not writing Casablanca. It's a show about dinosaurs with lasers on their face. So
and
Let's
we'll
all
just
try to get out by 5. You know what I mean?
and our target audience are 6-year-old boys.
Yeah.
So
Our target audience barely knows how to use a toilet, so let's not go nuts over here.
what was it? What was the Silverhawks slogan? Half real.
Oh yeah, half partly metal, partly real.
Yeah, you just got to dumb it down for kids.
Yeah. Partly trying, partly good.
Yeah.
That's-
But it sounds like to me they spent all their money on really creating.
yeah, they spent their
really-
money where it mattered, the merchandise.
Yeah,
Which,
but
I mean, it worked out well for them. It worked out so well, they probably saved money when they figured out that little boys didn't really care if these dinosaurs had laser beam foreheads. They just liked the fact that they had dinosaurs to play with, and then just got rid of the Dino-Riders part entirely.
I mean, for we've been doing this long enough to where we'll look into the history of a company that kind of, hey, I wanted to capitalize on this toy by doing this, and 9 times out of 10 you read about this company that shortly after they made this series, they ended up like going bankrupt or going out of business and
Like
having
every
to be
time.
like having to be bought. But really, the thing we didn't talk about was the fact that Tyco, because they eventually got bought out by Mattel, but that happened 10 years later, and at that point, they was one of the top 3 biggest toy companies in the U.S., and it was more just a strategy buyout.
Yeah.
From Mattel. So, I mean, it worked out for them. But I think just the fact that they had toys that was so well done and kind of really hit home for those kids wanting dinosaurs, they killed it in that aspect. They didn't even need to make a cartoon.
They
honestly.
killed it with the toy line so much that I believe that the show was just an afterthought, and that it was like, well, everyone else is doing it, we should do it too.
Exactly. And then I bet you chances are they found out, hey guys, we actually don't need to waste our money on these. Our toys are just
we don't need to do this. The toys sell themselves.
They're selling just fine. So yeah.
So any closing thoughts on Dino-Riders?
What a fascinating story behind the toys, all the kind of tie-ins to even, things going on, things that we know now, like Toy Story, Smithsonian, crazy tie-ins. But yeah, don't I guess for the cartoon, don't waste your time.
No, and unless you're one of those people who do hold a nostalgic feeling for it, even then I still wouldn't recommend it. Sometimes a memory is better just a memory,
Yep.
You accidentally go back to camp and realize, oh yeah, a kid died here or something. Sometimes it's best just to leave some of this stuff as a nice memory and not go back and visit.
What's that old saying, Andrew? Let sleeping dogs sleep.
I don't think that it's let sleeping dogs lie.
Oh. Okay, well.
Well, I believe that wraps up the cartoon Dino-Riders. If you'd like to support the show, you can go to our Patreon, patreon.com/cartoondd. There we have a $5 tier. It gets you access to our stickers, Discord, and bonus content. We have a Twitter handle CartoonDD. We have an Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, all Cartoon Dumpster Dive. You can send us an email at cartoondumpsterdive@gmail.com. And as always, if you'd like to support the show by giving a 5-star review on the podcasting platform of your choice, it really helps out the show, gets us in that algorithm so we don't go extinct like Dino-Riders. Have a great rest of your week.
See you.
And as always, if you could give us a 5-star review on the podcasting platform of our choice. Fuck.
So close. So close.
This has been a Lughole podcast.